Hey friends! I first want to say thank you so much to all 7 subscribers that I have. I know that you guys are awesome because I know every one of you, and I actually have 8 subscribers, but one of them's from my other channel. It's myself, my personal account. Today I'm going to talk about charcoal for beginners. I've had a couple questions about this and I wanted to share what I know about charcoal and my favorite things. So you have a couple different kinds, right? First you have compressed charcoal, which comes in these little sticks. I've got several of them. Eventually they kind of just like break and you just have pieces everywhere. Like I've got a broken one here. These come in different thicknesses or hardnesses. This one says 2B on it, and this one, yeah, I don't know what this one says, but they start, the numbers mean how soft the charcoal is, which means how dark it is. So it goes from 2B to like 4B. 2B is lighter than 4B because it's harder. So the softer the charcoal is, the bigger the number gets. So a 2B is not as dark as a 4B. Compressed charcoal is a lot harder to erase. So I really don't use this until the end of a drawing. Okay, the next one I'm gonna talk about is vine charcoal. It usually comes in a box like this, and this Winsor & Newton brand is my favorite. This is what I use. So here I have a soft hardness and a medium. So as you can guess, the medium is lighter than the soft one, and the soft is darker. Once you've used these for a while, they end up, again, in pieces. Or sometimes I break them in pieces. Like if I need a smaller piece, like I'll just use this one or something like that. And I just keep them all together. So I really don't know what I'm using when I pick it up out of my box because they're all just mixed up together. So I really don't know. These are great for like, usually beginning your drawing with these. I'm gonna show you after. But usually like beginning your drawing, you can be a lot more expressive with the vine charcoal. So if you were gonna draw like an apple or something, this lets you kind of like guess where stuff is. Instead of like a pencil where you kind of have to like really commit to what you're doing, this lets you kind of play around, I don't know if it's too bright, if you can see. It lets you just play around more with it. So I like it for that. It also erases very easy. You can just kind of wipe your hand, say you don't like it right there. You're like, I kind of want to put my apple over here. You can go ahead and do that. The thing with vine charcoal is it doesn't work on really smooth surfaces because it kind of needs like a little tooth to grab onto, or it will just erase and go away. So I always use vine charcoal to start a drawing if it's a bigger one. The last charcoal I want to share with you guys is charcoal pencils. Now these pencils are basically compressed charcoal just in a pencil. So this is what I like, the brand. This is General's. I don't even know, it's probably like $5 at Michael's or any craft store. This comes with a 2B, a 4B, and a 6B, and then a white. I don't really use the white because I think it looks kind of weird when you use it. It doesn't look right to me. But anyway, so those are the different kinds of charcoals. Now I'm going to show you how to sharpen them, and then we'll jump in and I'll show you how to use them. Okay, so sharpening your pencils. What I use to sharpen them is a little snap-off knife. You can use like a box cutter. It doesn't have to be this specific one, but I like it because it's slim. So what you're gonna do, let's get one right behind you. You've got your pencil right here. You get a little bit of the blade out, and you always do it away from you because you don't want to, cut your finger off. So I start back here. I put my finger behind here to support the blade, and I slowly push. And you're gonna go all the way around. You don't want to like take everything off in one big chunk because it sometimes breaks the lead. So you kind of want to go slow, go all the way around, and you just slowly take the wood off. I like doing it this way to show more of the charcoal too, because it lets you be more expressive. You don't have to hold it at like a certain angle to get it to write. You can kind of hold it however you want and it'll make more contact with the paper. Okay, so once you get it kind of like this, it's not sharp, right? So what you do is you take a little sandpaper block and you kind of rotate it as you're doing it. And that'll get you a nice point. So I'm gonna go through it. And I just keep rotating it and going. It feels kind of weird, but it works. Okay. So you see, you can get a pretty sharp tip if you go at it. This lets you do more detail work and things like that. Okay, the reason I use these the most, these general ones, is I just work in a sketchbook. That's really why. If you're doing a bigger, like if I had a bigger notebook or something, I probably would start with the Vine charcoal because it lets me be more loose. You know, I don't have to commit right away when I put a line down. The Vine charcoal lets me be expressive and flowy and, you know, kind of that like, you know, artsy feeling we all kind of want, like a feeling just free. You can just kind of play with it. It doesn't have to be anything you commit to right away, which is, you know, what makes it fun too. Okay, I'm gonna share with you guys how I would go ahead and shade an apple and use these, using all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Vine charcoal just because. So I've got right here a little reference of an apple, and we're just gonna use the Vine charcoal to get started. And like I said, I have no idea if this is soft or medium. I'm just, whatever. So I kind of, you know, before I put anything down, I kind of try to see like where do I want the apple? Okay, I have the shadow right here. So if I put the apple right here, the shadow is probably gonna get cut off, which is not what I want. So I'm probably gonna put the apple somewhere over here. And as you can see, it's not exact. The Vine charcoal is not exact. It's just for kind of getting a loose, kind of capturing your feeling about the object and getting it down on paper. And you have to be okay with the charcoal's going to be messy, but you know, it's part of doing art, and all the passionate things are messy, so just be okay with it. Okay, so the next thing after I get my general shape down is you want to divide the light side from the shadow side. So I'm gonna go in here. You can kind of see where it wraps around, how it's dark. There's a little bit down here. And of course, the shadow is very dark. Now, as far as blending this, a lot of people would say that you don't want to use your hands because you have a lot of grease and things, or I don't know, maybe you were eating barbecue chips 10 minutes ago. I have no idea. So you can use your hands. That's what I do. I like to use my hands half the time because it's what I have and it's free. Or you can use like a paper towel and blend it out. It does erase it though, because remember, the Vine charcoal isn't really for getting details on. It's really just for laying down quick values. So say we got this apple here. We kind of know where we want it. It's not exact, right? It's just an idea so far. Now what I would do when I kind of have this figured out, what I would do is move to the compressed charcoal pencils. And I wouldn't start with the hard one unless you're starting from the very beginning, because you probably won't see it because this is already kind of dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the medium one. I don't want to hold it like right here because you're gonna get too focused on the details and you really want to be loose and gestural. So you really either want to hold it back here, or you can even hold it overhand, which is gonna feel weird, but it gives you more of an expressive line that feels, I don't know, more loose. This is where you can go in and start adding more details about which way the apple's curving, which way it's going. And as you can see, It feels more expressive holding it this way. Okay, this also is what I would use to get the shadow down. And this will not erase as easy. The compressed charcoal does not erase like the vine charcoal. So once you put it down, the darker it is, it's probably not coming up. So you really want to be sure it's where you want it to be. See, I use my finger because it's just, I don't know, it's just what I have. It's easier. You can see it's a little darker down here, the apple. All right, now what do you do to get those highlights? We have the darks down, but we're still missing the highlights. I use a kneaded eraser. You gotta stretch it a lot to get it to work. That's how it like self-cleans and how you get it to work. It can be really hard when you get it out of the package. Okay, so now I'm gonna go through and just pick out some of the light parts. The reason I really like charcoal is it doesn't take a lot of effort to get a big wow. Whereas when you're using like graphite pencils, you really have to spend a lot of time building up your values. And I'm not great at it, to be totally honest. I don't have the patience. So I really, they're both different. Charcoal's messier, it's harder to bring places, but I think you get, in a short amount of time, you can get an object that looks and feels 3D. And as you can see, you're not gonna get all of these up. Once you lay this down, it's not coming up again. See right here, this is a little too high, so you just kind of fix it a little bit. And you just kind of play with it, kind of build it up. You guys can find any reference and try this yourself. You can use Google. What you really want to find though is a reference that has a strong light source, and so you can see the light and the shadow. Otherwise, it's really hard to do if you can't see it. I want you guys to leave me a comment down at the bottom and let me know if this was helpful, what you'd like to see, and any more questions that you guys have about charcoal. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on more tips and lessons like this every week. I'll see you guys next week.